Ian Gaughran, it's been a while.
What's up, Is?
Listen, what's up? What's up, Sean? How are we?
What's the crack?
No, just first question. Tribal chief.
Straight into it. Yeah, straight into it.
Yeah, no. But no, listen. How are we? First off, a huge few weeks ahead and a few months ahead for your roster. What's the crack and how are we?
Yeah, everything is good. We had a nice. We had a bit of an up and down last week with Cian and Myles. Cian obviously was very impressive on his home debut, his second professional fight, and Myles ended up being probably a fight of the year contender with Kane Singh. Came away with a draw, and obviously he was a little bit disappointed with the result. He probably boxed the wrong fight, but didn't lose and lived to fight another day. And we are hoping to get a few little bits and bobs sorted out for him. So all systems now, I suppose, are looking towards November 29th November 1st, November 29th, and December 7th. So, yeah, obviously there's three very big nights for the team coming up in the next kind of 6-7 weeks.
Just talk me through Myles, and how did you match that fight? Because it was a brilliant fight from what I've seen on the old YouTube stream, and obviously it was on TalkSport, and a big platform for Myles in his third fight or second fight.
Yeah, look, we had looked to match him with Kane before, and Kane's manager Glenn Banks actually is the same fella who manages the fella who beat Myles on his debut, and that was just a bit of an anomaly. He got a very bad cut in the first round of head clash, and we knew that we had probably bigger fights on the horizon, so a test was what he needed to really kind of knock off any remaining rust and to really get himself into kind of domestic mode. But I think he kind of nearly awoken a bit of a beast in Kane Singh probably in the first 10-15 seconds, because he came out and he had Singh hurt early on, but I think Kane kind of went and said, you know what, let's have a scrap, and they just went toe-to-toe on the inside for 6 rounds. Myles may have kind of looked hurt, and he kind of looked as though he was kind of wilting a little bit, but he assured us after that he was fine. There was no real pop. It was just, the head was being knocked around a little bit, but he didn't feel in any trouble. But obviously he didn't box the fight that he wanted to kind of never really executed what he would have liked him to do. He did in the third round, boxed really well in the third round, kind of was thrown at the corkscrew uppercuts and getting off the 1-2 and shifting around, pivoting off. But I think it was just silly little mistakes. Like he was dipping onto the backhand. Myles as a southpaw was dipping onto Singh's backhand, and he was just getting caught too much. But he wasn't despondent. Obviously, he was a little bit pissed off, and he wasn't overly happy with how the whole thing panned out. But look, it wasn't a defeat, and there are matches there for him. So, yeah, as I said, we go again. I'm just trying to actually pin him down to have a conversation about the next move, and as soon as we can get that done, we'll probably have something organised.
Would Paul Unum be on the cards in the future with Myles? You knew I was going to ask that question.
Yeah, that is something that's on the horizon. It's just a case of when and if it's going to be next.
Yeah.
Either he'll have a fight at super bantamweight himself, so he actually fights at super bantamweight, which is where he feels most comfortable, or he'll go into that. I just need to talk to Myles properly and suss it out.
Yeah.
Pre-Kane Singh, that was where we were looking at going, and we'll see now post-Kane Singh if that's where we actually go. So it is definitely in the horizon. It's just a case of November 29th or not.
Okay. Cian Reddy, he's out and he's active, and it's great to see, but how did he get on in your perspective in the National Stadium?
I couldn't have been happier. Probably Joe Ward aside, I thought his performance was the classiest performance on the bill, certainly the classiest on the undercard. He was in against Richard Helm, who has all the experience in the world, knows how to survive and is tough and durable and has a big old right hand that has buzzed people in the past, and a lot of people don't take him in their second fight, because he knows his way around the ring and he comes and has a bit of a go, and speaking to him afterwards, he said he did have a go, but Cian was just that little bit too good for him. In reality, Cian didn't need to get out of second gear. He boxed perfectly to instruction. Wayne Woods and Arias, they were both in his corner. They split the camp. So both of them have worked with Cian extensively, and you could see it. I was sitting in the corner just to the left, and you could see that Cian carried out every single instruction down to the letter. You know, when he needed to feint, he feinted. When he needed to kind of box and move, when he was trying to shift to get Ham to drop the hands, he was doing that. He executed everything. He boxed really well within himself. Won every second, basically, of the 4 rounds. I think he got caught with one little bit of a shot, I think, on commentary. I think they had it down as they seemed as though they thought it had landed, but from where I was sitting, he kind of grazed to the side of his head. And I think he could have gone through the gears if he wanted to, but we wanted to get rounds in. Cian is just gone 23. He's proper top class amateur. You know, he's won the last 2 Celtic Box Cup, 1 senior, 1 elite, and he's one that we really feel can go extremely far in the sport. So absolutely no rush with how we match him, and we won't be looking at moving up through to 6s and 8s anytime soon. Like, as I said, he's 23. He'll probably operate at light welter when he needs to, but for the moment, we're not looking for him to, you know, burst his balls just to get down to 140 for the sake of seeing how it feels. We know he can do 140; it won't be a problem. And when he starts to really kind of come into his own strength, you're going to see a serious operator. I think he's one of the best prospects in the country. He's extremely well guided. I don't mean from me. I mean from his coaching team. He trains with Unit 3 when he's here, and he trains with Wayne in Leeds. He comes from a great family. You know, he is very well supported. He had 150 mad Portlaoise fans with him at the weekend. Some who had travelled from all sorts of places. I think there was 10 or 11 people who come on flights from Holland and Scandinavia and all over the place just to come see him fight. Spain, and you could tell by the noise in the place. And you could certainly tell by the noise in Leonard's Corner when he went down afterwards. They had migrated down there. Basically, they'd taken over Leonard's Corner, which was just down the road from the stadium. We got down there after, and the lads had pulled the shutters down. The fella on the door, he said, "No, sorry, we're full." Sure, they were all inside waiting to see Cian. He rocked in. He was put up on shoulders. Country Road started to belt out across the whole pub. So that just shows how well got he is, and the kind of family he comes from, you know, and the kind of people who are supporting him. So he's a great guy. He's an incredible boxer, and he's one with an extremely bright future.
G-Train McCarthy, it's there to Watford. Someone has to lose, or someone has to win, but we're going to find out in December. How are we looking forward to this fight? And first off, fair play for getting this fight signed in and getting done. I think the whole Irish boxing community would agree with me in saying that this is a fight that everyone wants to see. And I know I put up a post a few months ago with this, 1 year ago, and they were all respectful in the comments. And a few months later, we never knew this was going to happen. But now, eventually, we've reached the point in December 7th, we see what happens.
Yeah, it had always been a bit of a long-term plan. That when they were looking at the show, that Graham and Craig would fight each other. It's kind of really the only fight for both of them at the moment, at this point in their career. You know, Graham is talking about being Last Dance. I'm actually watching Last Dance again on Netflix at the moment. Graham is talking about this being the last dance, so he's really going to put everything in. It was a real shame that he didn't get to blow the cobwebs off on Friday night in the stadium. Just things conspired against. He was due to fight Dom. Obviously, there was medical issues. Things conspired against both of them, and they obviously never got in to fight. But this is going to be really mouth-watering. You know, the fight was a close one the last time. Graham really feels that he won in Waterford last April. I think it was last April.
Yeah, it was April. Yeah.
And you know, he's still fully sure that there was a knockdown that was ruled as a slip.
Yeah.
Craig got it by the odd round in 8. Like, I think 1 round either way, and it was a draw. 1 round either way, it was Craig's win. So it's something that both of them really should be looking forward to. It's the perfect fight for the two of them. Again, it's in Craig's backyard, but Graham's, you know, he knows.
Graham doesn't care.
No. He knows that if you're going to fight Craig, he knows the kind of level of show that Neil's putting on. This is the kind of last show of the year for most people. It's just, I think it promises just to be another cracking fight. You know, the two of them have measured each other up. They know what each other brings. Graham knows what he needs to do to reverse. I'm sure Craig knows what he needs to do to win. He's done it once, and it's very much out for revenge as far as Graham's concerned. So, look, it has the makings of an excellent
fight.
Like,
yeah, I'm looking at that card already, Ian, and it's potentially one of the cards of the year in my opinion. Just the whole card on top of itself. But I think Graham McCormack versus McCarthy. I think that's a real dark horse fight tonight.
Yeah, it should be. You know, I don't know what Craig's plans are. You know, he's in and around the same age as Graham. I don't know if he's looking to go out in a high or if he's looking to keep going and all that. But it has the makings of one of those kind of fights that both men going out in the shield, giving everything they have, leaving everything in the ring, putting on a show for the crowd, making their families proud, making their teams proud. And hopefully, at the end of it all, there's no kind of controversy. And, you know, they can bury the hatchet. They can actually gain that respect for each other after the end of two brilliant fights. And, you know, look back on two pretty successful careers, you know. Both of them have won Celtic titles. Both of them have fought on big nights, on big TV cards,
on big shows, as well.
They've both done very well. And this is, I think, this is the perfect way for both of them to kind of
storytelling ending.
It is. Yeah. That's the thing. And obviously, we're confident that Graham can reverse the first decision, but I'm sure they're the same. You know, I'm sure Craig has gone, well, I beat you once, I beat you twice, but Graham knows what he needs to do.
The Machine, David Ryan against Cian Kelly, an Irish title. I remember only ringing you a few weeks ago saying, probably annoying you, being like, Ian, is this happening? Is this happening? Is this happening? And you have to keep your mouth shut, obviously. And yesterday we seen the post and it went out. But how are we feeling ahead of this fight and what made it finally get signed in?
It was always the fight
that made sense
for the two of them. Yeah, it was supposed, like, Cian had won. Cian beat Jake Tinklin earlier in the year for that.
The Celtic title.
He had always been looking at moving on to an Irish title, and then it was supposed to be Cian and Deco for the Irish welterweight title. In the meantime, Dave beat Cian's kind of gym mate and in Tony McLean.
Fight.
Great fight.
Yeah.
Brilliant fight.
Yeah.
Come up off the ground early, came on and just kind of walk forward the whole night. Got the decision. Obviously, there was a little bit of the mix-up with the calling out the scorecards and the bit of
human error. It was human error. It was human error. But listen, those things happen and
that was just set up. Dave had a bad cut and he needed time for that to heal up, and he's been working very hard in the background since. And we've always known that this was kind of the fight for the two of them. I'm sure Cian probably thinks it's the same. Actually, Dave and Cian had a spar for Dave to be granted his license a couple of years ago. So,
can you tell us anything about that?
I think it was a very good spar. I think the two of them actually it was a full blood spar. I think the two of them kind of had a bit of a go. I think Mel was suitably impressed by both of them when they sparred. So they know what each other brings. You know, everybody knows what Cian brings. You saw what he did against Matthew. He's an extremely good come forward fighter. He has a serious engine and he doesn't stop. And the same goes for Dave. They're different styles. Dave's more of a kind of lopey style. Cian is on his toes, likes to come forward, really busy. And I thought he was brilliant against Matthew. I just thought, Jesus, that was his best performance of his career. He was good against Jake Tinklin. He was much better against Matthew Tyndall. And he fully deserved what was almost a shootout win. So this kind of started to do a little bit of the rounds, and then when it was approached to us, I think we were happy to take it. I think Jay was happy to take it on behalf of Cian. I think the two boys know that it's a bit of a glamour fight. I think it's going to be the co-main event on a big show.
It's co-main, yeah, it's co-main.
And you know, it's a brilliant platform for the two of them to kind of showcase what they can do, and this has another one of these potentials to be kind of a fight of the year job. We see it all the time with these domestics. This will be over 10 rounds. Two boys who won't stop over 10 rounds. Two boys have two serious engines. And I think it's another one that's going to be extremely entertaining for the crowd in Waterford. And then, like, it has the potential if it's going to be Graham and Craig, and then it's going to be Dave and Senna, and then you finish it up with Dylan and Tyrone, which we know what both of them bring. We know that Tyrone brings war the whole time.
Yeah.
Dylan was clinical the last day, you know. He probably would have liked actually a few more rounds now that he's drawn McKenna, but he couldn't have done it in any more kind of conclusive style.
Yeah.
So it's got to make it.
Yeah, like I'm even thinking about the crowd at the moment. Like just back to a GA, like the Munster Championship, you know, Waterford and the lads from Clare coming into Waterford, and then you know lads from Limerick coming into Waterford, and then Clare. You know what I'm trying to say? It's kind of it's a really really good mix of all kind of crowds. I think we're going to see a great atmosphere in December.
Yeah, and look, Neil Power's a great fella, puts on a fantastically well produced show.
Yeah.
We know exactly what he brings. You see some of the videos that have already come out. You know, we've seen what Neil has done in the past with his shows. It's a great arena, and he puts on a really top show. So
yeah,
I think we can expect this to be a really good way to finish off domestic boxing in Ireland.
Fionn Loughlin, I just want to talk about him quickly. Obviously, he's new to your stable. Just talk me a bit about him, and just to the people that don't know, just introduce him a small bit.
Yeah, he's a good kid. He's he'll operate in around featherweight. He won Antrim titles. He won Ulster titles as a kid. He was on international teams, won cups. He boxed out of the Ulster High Performance, and he's only young. He hasn't really been overly active the last couple of years, but he's been kind of working hard in the background, trying to make sure he hones that pro style. And you know, he knows what the pro game brings. He knows what he needs to do as far as being a professional does, but his team behind him really feel that he can make serious waves on certainly on the domestic scene and beyond. And he's one that I'm looking forward to kind of getting going. He's just been fully licensed. Medicals and all are done from his amateur background and what he'd done in the past. And you know, Melty and Clipson, they were perfectly happy to recommend him to move forward to professional license, and that's a good sign. You know, some lads that they want to see sparring, and they would be unsure of. I guess I said Dave had to spar for his license, and you see what he's brought to the table. So Finton's one that we're kind of hopeful of, and he's another one kind of in the Cian Reddy mold. You know, there won't be any rush to kind of bring him forward a fast.
You won't be fast shocking him. You won't be fast shocking him at all. You just be keeping him.
I don't think. I think he understands what he needs to do, and at his age, and you know that there isn't any major rush. There's going to be shows all over the place. There's going to be plenty of shows up in the north. He can come down to Dublin for shows, and yeah, he's another one with a bright future. And he's got a gym mate who's made an application as well, Tomas McCann, who was a very, very good amateur, boxed away internationally, really slick. He actually had a spar the other day, and it probably wasn't needed, or it wasn't needed. He's very good. So he's moved on to medical stage now, and as soon as them medicals get cleared and all that, he'll be another one that'll come forward. Again, very young, same kind of crack, no rush, but really talented, and someone out of the same stable that we would have high hope for.
Rudy against Kerr. You know, it's an amazing fight, and it's two lads, obviously, from your stable. This is a crack of a fight. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, look, we saw they put on a brilliant show in the Ulster Hall on Kurt Walker's undercard in March. Cracking fight. A lot of people were saying Rudy's going to win. A lot of people were saying Kerr was going to win. The same this time around. We saw exactly the level of progression that Rudy has made over the last little while. You know, he's been taken under Terry Smith's wing, and Terry's done a fantastic job with him. He's almost like a big brother to Rudy. They work really hard together. They work really well together. They get on. You know, Rudy loves this stage. It's where he lives. It's where he feels he belongs, and he's grasped the opportunity with both hands. You know, he stepped up. He fought Jared Hughes. I think most people around the place would have thought that he beat Jared Hughes in that kind of contentious draw, but that set him up, having been already on the stage when he fought Murph for a Celtic title. he knew that he was able to kind of belong there. And in fairness, he boxed a fantastic fight when he beat Conor. There wasn't much in it, and now they step up to 10 rounds. Conor had excuses for the last one. It's not one that he wants to broadcast. He doesn't make excuses. He's not making them publicly. But he knows the reasons why he feels that he lost the fight. Yeah. And he will be going in there extremely confident. I know both of them, their camps are going really well. Rudy was over doing some high-level sparring across the water there last week. Conor's been doing loads of work with some serious operators. He's a lot of work again with Murph. And they feel that they're going to turn the tables. And I know that Rudy feels he's going to do the same. And there's obviously a very big carrot at the end of it, like the Irish title. And actually, it'll be the first Irish title, assuming they don't draw, it'll be the first Irish title that the stable has won. So it's a big all night. I didn't know who was going to win the first time. I don't know who's going to win the second time. And it's genuinely not fence sitting. It's a real. They're completely different styles. Yeah. They're completely different characters. They're completely different kind of on different arcs from how they are. Conor was a high level amateur, and when he fought the first time, it was his first time on the big stage. Rudy knew what it was all about, and Rudy boxed a fantastic fight. I thought that they both did. Conor probably lost it in the middle rounds when he probably just didn't go through the gears as he would have hoped to. Rudy does what Rudy does. It's incredible for somebody who's about 6 foot tall that he's a super bantamweight, and it's incredible that how he fights is that you would have thought that he'll stick a move on the outside and just use those long levers and use that big long jab. But Rudy, actually, I don't know if he agrees or I don't know if Terry agrees. I feel that he almost fights better on the inside than he does when he keeps it long. So that just makes for such an interesting clash because Conor's neat and tidy and compact and likes to fight on the inside. But so the two of them just went at it on the inside. I was thinking, this is mad because you kind of felt as though it was kind of Rudy would have had to keep Conor long and not let him get in. But Rudy was comfortable to let Conor come in. Yeah. And like they both had little bits of success during the fight. But obviously, as we know, Rudy got the decision. He won it, I think, 5 rounds to 3. And deserved his win on the night. So he's extremely confident that he does the same. And Conor is extremely confident that he turns the table. So it has the makings again for another mouth-watering clash. And the winner gets to kind of move on the Ulster scene. And, I know that like ticket sales are good. The profile is good. They only live a stone's throw from the Gird would say, that they could easily both have a headliner having gone beyond Irish title level to kind of continue to build their profile up in Belfast. So there's an awful lot at stake. There's the Irish title at stake, but there's an awful lot more at stake for the two of them. So we'll see how it fares. Best man will win. And the good thing about that division is there's plenty of opposition. Jared Hughes, I think, is on the comeback trail. Myles is there. Paul Unum is a bantamweight stroke, super bantamweight. Somebody could go up to featherweight to fight Kane Lewis. And then we've got Bam Bam sitting, waiting.
Matty Boreland.
Matty Boreland, who's going to fight over 8 rounds for the first time.
Yeah.
On the same night, he's fighting in a pretty much a domestic clash. It's not for a title. It's against Callum Turnbull from Scotland, who's 5-3 and has only been beaten by Dylan Arbuckle once and by a point and in a rematch. And he was beaten by
good matching, Ian. I'd say that good matching.
I hope it's not too good.
Yeah. What do you mean, hope it's not too good?
I hope like Turnbull doesn't come up and turn out to be some sort of taking superstar who
aggressive bull.
I think I'm so high on Matty. He's brilliant. He's so easy to deal with. He does massive tickets. He's so well supported up in Coleraine. He's got the football club behind him, and he punches like a demon. He took Louis Smith Gomar Lopez, who had previously fought for WBA interim world title. And won every round comfortably against him. That he did 6 rounds. Lost you there.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Grant.
I was just saying, Matty, obviously after fighting Lopez, he did 6 rounds with Jake Pollard, and I think I haven't spoken to Jake after. I said, what do you think is the power there? Or like, I know he talked to Louis Switzer. He said, "Oh no, he hits hard. He hits. It's the hardest I've been hitting in a long time."
Wow.
And Jake,
that says something.
Yeah, and I know that Jake had a point deducted for holding. He was holding on for dear life, I think, from round 4 on. I think with about 30 seconds left, the referee told Jake, "If you don't stop holding, I'm gonna stop this fight." So he had to kind of come out and give a bit. But it shows that power that we thought that Matty had is actually there.
Yeah.
He trains really hard. He works really hard. He's going to be with Ryan. He's with Ryan Burnett now, which is fantastic.
Great link up. Yeah, and in Ryan Burnett as well. Obviously this day, a few years ago,
7 years ago,
the world title that he won, and obviously it's great to see him train a few, the likes of Conor Quinn and the man himself, Bam Bam.
Yeah. So the Shane McDonough's there, I think, and James Freeman's obviously there. Another one of mine.
Another one of your boys.
So Matty's got an 8-rounder on his cards, and that will hopefully set him up to fight, the winner or the loser, depending on what way it goes, either for the Celtic or for the Irish title. And it's something that I'm really excited about. There's going to be 250 odd Galway fans. He's done mad tickets.
That mental lads.
And they're loud,
Yeah.
His brother has been taking care of his tickets, Chrissy. He's a great lad as well, and he's got everything written down. He's taking care of everything. He's on top of things the whole time. So again, it's when you have that support around you from within. It's the same with Cian. Tom Cian with his tickets. His mum did all his tickets. Like I was constantly on to her coming up to fight week. You need to have these support systems around you, to have family members who are there to
every step of the way.
Yeah, it's unconditional support to make sure that you get to where you need to be, and then it's my job to make sure they get matched properly. And I do feel this is an excellent step up, and it really show Matty where he wants to be. And I said, like, you're happy with Turnbull? I said, look, I've had my 3 fights. These are the kind of fights I want. I'm not here to flute around. I'm not here to, I'm at the stage where, I want to be testing myself. I want to be fighting the likes of Rudy and the likes of Conor. So this is the way to do it.
Okay.
So it'll be his first 8-rounder. He won't be wanting for fitness, and we'll see how he fares and how he can put that power on for 8 rounds, and how his opponent fares.
Carr against Harty. Butchered that one. Carr against Harty, November 29th in the Warehouse. Good fight, great fight. We've seen Harty take the win in the National Stadium, and he was staying active. Then he got a win before that in the Warehouse again. So he's used to the Warehouse in a way. In Jason Harty, it's hard hit Harty as it is on his Instagram. But Peter Carr, he hits hard as well. So it's 2 hard hitters really coming at it, and I think that this would be a great centre ring fight. We'll see the best out of 2 men.
It's the battle of the bangers, isn't it? And like Peter has been saying this, Peter came in from kickboxing. He's won multiple world titles. Peter knows exactly what it is to face pressure and to actually have big fights on big nights. So Peter would have been fighting domestics in his first fight if he could have. It was like, let's just ease our way into this. Let's understand what pressures the program brings. Making weight, doing your tickets, sponsorship, and all that kind of stuff. But Peter, like, he came in and he had a highlight reel knockout. You knocked your man out standing up in his first fight. Didn't go very long. Then he had Gratty and he had Jordan Granham, 2 lads who know full well how to stick in there. And Jordan Granham is actually a fantastic boxer.
Yeah.
Would do serious damage to a lot of people. And I think a lot of the time people would say to Granham, look, go easy here. But I think after the fight, Granham was like, I was just delighted that no one told me to kind of, take care of this kid, because I was able to, it meant that I was able to let myself off the leash and have a right go.
Yeah.
Peter bangs, really, really bangs. But that said, people have him down as a banger with granite in his fist. Peter can box. Peter was a high-level young amateur. He's out of Crumlin. He'll be in camp at Deco, I guess. You know, they're boxing towards the same
on
night.
On the same card, yeah.
For the same goal, 8 rounds, Celtic title. So, like, don't be sleeping on Peter's boxing ability. I'm telling you.
Because I think when a lot of people see Peter Kerr, just quickly, because the time is running out here quickly, and I want to talk about Jamie Morrissey next, but I think when a lot of people see Peter Kerr, they think of this knockout, you know, this knockout artist that every punch he throws, it's, I want to put you down, if you get me. Like, every punch, I'm going to throw a cross, I'm going to throw a jab, I'm going to throw a hook, I'm going to throw an uppercut in there. I want to hurt you and I want to put you down. But as you said, don't sleep on it, and Kerr can box.
Oh, he can absolutely box. I'm telling you now, Peter Kerr can box. Everybody's talking about Jason had been, you know, youth medalist and won a lot of nationals and all that kind of stuff. And Jason's
good. He's really good.
Jason was formerly part of the managerial stable.
Yeah.
And I know full well how technically good he is. He's an excellent jab. The 1-2 and left hook is very good. You know, he knows his way around the ring. I don't think he's come up against anybody in the pros like Peter. And as someone pointed out, I think Noel Barr pointed out yesterday, that the ring in the warehouse isn't a very big ring.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Yeah.
Nowhere to hide for either man. And Peter, I was talking to Peter yesterday, and it was just like, I will not take a step back. Bit like Dave Ryan. It's not in these kickboxing lads' nature to take a step back. He said, like, if I take a step back, it won't be for very long, because all I'm doing is reevaluating what exactly he's going to do before I come forward and bomb on him again. Yeah. He won't. That's the kind of person he is.
Okay.
And he's a great lad, you know. Everybody goes on, you know, he's just his banger, but he's over he's in town giving classes every night to people of all ages.
In Phantom. Yeah.
It's I think it's the Devil's Warriors now. I think is what is his side of it. Yeah, it's in Phantom MMA. And I was over with him last week doing a bit of training, and you know, he's taking the classes. These are young kids, older kids, boys, girls, big, huge fellas, little kids. So what he's doing is setting an example for these people that they can do what he's doing, and hopefully now that he can cap that off and show exactly what it means with a little bit of hard work and a bit of dedication and following and backing yourself by winning a Celtic title, you know.
Just we've 5 minutes or so left. I just want to quickly talk about Jamie Morrissey, recently retired. As you said in your Instagram, the man who changed the face of Irish domestic boxing. I can only say thank you to you, Jamie, and make the decision to hang up the gloves. Jamie's taken me to the biggest stage as a manager and give me some of my best nights in boxing. It's sad he retires, but it's on his own terms, and that's the most important thing in the game, that he's getting out healthy and happy. He's had an exceptional man. He's had an exceptional run, a great friend, a bloody smashing boxer. We had a great run, my friend. Thank you, Jamie. #champ. I just want to get a few quick words on Jamie Morrissey from you.
That
sums it up.
That sums it up. You know, Jamie is an absolutely fantastic fella, and as I said, like, some of our best nights have been thanks to Jamie, because he won a Celtic title, I think the day before his birthday in Scotland, beat Ben McGivern. He did it again when he beat Kevin Cronin in an absolutely unreal fight. Then
fight
of the year. Yeah. Had the draw with Kevin for the Irish title. That I thought that was hopefully going to be the first Irish title, but it didn't materialise. But it was again another brilliant fight, and people still talk about it, you know.
Still talk about it to this day, though, Ian. That's the thing. We still talk about it. Like when we talk about fights of the year and great fights, it's always Jamie Morrissey and Kevin Conlan that comes up somewhere in the conversation, and that's a fact.
Yeah. And you know, he went on. He fought Emmett Brennan on the Katie Taylor undercard. Like that's
huge in itself.
Yeah, it's the biggest stage. You give it. The result didn't go our way.
Yeah.
But you know, that was him bringing me to the biggest stage, and that's something that I'll forever be grateful for, because you know, you don't get, you know, an awful lot of hard work goes in behind the scenes, and this isn't me blowing any trumpet and all that, but like you do put an awful lot in, and for somebody like Jamie to be able to bring me as a manager to that stage and to be able to operate on that level, you know, in and around these kind of people and dealing with the Matchroom people throughout it, and you know, to be able to establish those relationships, it is really, you can only say thanks to him, you know, and genuinely, we spoke about it on numerous occasions when he was making his decision, and it was a case of, you know, I still think there's an awful lot more you have to give, but if this is your decision,
it's your decision,
happy, and I was at no stage was I trying to talk him out of that, because we're not playing tennis here, you know. This is getting punched in the face, and if you feel that you've had enough,
you've had enough. It is what it is.
Yeah. I'm absolutely not going to put someone back in the ring or try and encourage someone back in the ring if they're not there, you know. And you know, Jamie's still young, and it might become a thing where Jamie gets a little bit of an itch in a year's time or whatever, and says, you know what, I do have more to give.
And I guess the phone will always be there to, just one last thing, I guess the phone will always be there to be rang if Jamie ever needs you again for a manager for boxing. I guess it's a friendship bonded as well, which is great to see.
The phone is always there for Jamie if he needs bloody anything. Never mind boxing. You know, I class him as a friend. I think the feeling's mutual. We're pretty tight. We trust each other. And we, like as I said, we had some brilliant times. You know, Jamie has been here in the house just after my baby boy was born. You know,
that's something special. That's something special.
Yeah, like himself and Sophie were here. You know, Sophie, who just won the Inters, by the way, or the seniors now.
Go on, Sophie.
Top class. Again, two of them are they're just fantastic people, and I just wish the two of them the absolute best. You know.
Ian, thank you so much for talking to IrishBoxing.com. Really appreciate it. Myself, as always, you're an absolute legend. Always great having the crack with you as well. And I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Do you want to acknowledge real quickly? But you know, Ian, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No worries.